This is a study from several years ago, back in the 1990s, and I've disguised the product category a little bit. So although it says Alka-Seltzer Plus, this study wasn't actually done for Alka-Seltzer Plus, but it was done for a relevantly similar product in a relevantly similar category. It's a cannibalization case study. And so let me tell you what I mean by that. Let's talk a little bit about the background. Alka-Seltzer Plus, or ASP, is a cold remedy. It's not an average cold remedy. It's not like NyQuil that you take as a liquid and drink down, or it's not a pill that you would, like Tylenol cold, that you just pop 2 pills in your mouth and swallow them down. It's an effervescent drug. And what that means is, while this product was formerly the market leader, every year the share falls because of the product form. It's a little bit less convenient. You have to drop it in a glass of water and let it fizz and watch it. But also because of the taste. Consistently, product users report not especially liking the taste. They take the product despite the taste, not because of it. And so marketing thought that perhaps a line extension was in order. What they'd really like to do is to capitalize on the liquid heritage of the product, but not by making it a solid pill, but by making it one of those liquid-filled gel caps. And they thought that with this line extension, perhaps they could reverse some of this market share erosion that their product had suffered over the years. But there were certainly some concerns about profitability. And the reason was that Alka-Seltzer Plus was a very profitable product. It cost almost nothing to make. So that if the manufacturer managed to substitute volume of the new product at the expense of the original Alka-Seltzer Plus effervescent product, all they would do is cut the company's profitability and the marketers would get fired. And people don't like to get fired, so it was a legitimate concern. So in this case, we might have various hypotheses about how the new product would behave in the market. And the one that obviously everybody has to worry about is what we call the management nightmare. Alka-Seltzer Plus comes on the market and it takes share from the parent brand. Cannibalization occurs by brand. Then on the other hand, there's the marketing dream case. Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels come on the market and only take their share from other brands that share a similar format. So you might call it form cannibalization. Take share from other pills that you'd swallow, other tablets and liquid gels, but not from the parent brand at all. And then there's sort of the model that's assumed by when we run multinomial logit as our way of estimating our CBC models. We're assuming that there's something called a fair share draw, that share comes proportionally, so that a new product taking a 10% market share enters a market, and if there's a product already there that has a 50 share, when the new product comes in, it takes half of its share, or 5 percentage points, from that product that already has 50%. So it's proportional share draw. That's an assumption of the logit model. So here's our study design. We had 900 respondents, and they actually came into a central site facility where they actually saw store shelves built, and each store shelf had a large variety of cold products on it, 20 in fact. And we had respondents read 20 product concepts, one of which was the new Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gel concept. We didn't want to draw a special attention to it by having people read its concept board and then just go answer questions about the products without having an equivalent sort of attention paid to the other products. So we actually had respondents read all 20 concept boards. Then we gave each respondent 20 choice questions. And the only things that were different in those choice questions were which products were available and what price point they were shown at. And each one of these choice questions had between 8 and 12 brands shown in it. And what this experimental design allows us to do is to measure cannibalization, price sensitivity, and brand equity. So because we get a utility for each brand, we're getting brand equity. Because we're getting utilities for the various prices, we're getting price sensitivity. And because we're measuring the effect of brands being absent or present on other brands, we measure cannibalization. Here's what a sample question looked like. This was one of the smaller questions. It only had 8 of the products showing in it. Assume you needed to buy a cold medication for your home. Which one of these would you be most likely to buy? So we've got NyQuil liquid available at $4.69 and Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels at $3.99 and Theraflu powder at $4.59, and so on. And then as well, because we're studying a total of 20 brands, we've actually got 12 brands that are not appearing in this choice set. They're absent from this choice set. This study was done in the days before hierarchical Bayes analysis was available. So what we did is we were able to pick up the cannibalization by coding something called cross effects into what's called a Mother-Logit model. Mother-Logit is a very general form of the Logit model that doesn't have to assume this proportional share draw, or what's also called the IIA property of the Logit model. Having Mother-Logit with these cross effects allowed us to get away from that property and that assumption of fair share draws. And once we measured all of these utilities, we built it all into a simulator that was scaled to current market shares. So what did we find out? Well, let's just look at Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels versus their current Alka-Seltzer Plus versus liquid competitors, a primary tablet competitor, and other tablet competitors. So currently, the four of those categories currently on the market account for 100%. The management nightmare, of course, is that Alka-Seltzer Plus comes on the market. We knew from bases that Alka-Seltzer Plus would take about a 7% share in its first couple of years. So management nightmare is that full 7 points comes out of Alka-Seltzer Plus original. That's the scenario where there's no market share gain from any other brands. It's all just cannibalization of the parent brand, and everybody gets fired. What the model actually said, however, wasn't quite that dire at all. In fact, what it said was, well, it does look like Alka-Seltzer Plus is going to take a fair share amount from Alka-Seltzer Plus original. So one of the 7 points is likely to come from the base brand, but disproportionately, it's going to come from other tablet competitors. So the primary tablet competitor, two of the points are going to come from the primary competitor, and 3 from other tablets. So really, the share is mostly going to come, or 5/7 of the share is going to come from other tablet competitors, and only 1/7 of the share is going to come from the base brand. The net effect is going to be that the Alka-Seltzer Plus franchise share is going to go from 18 to 24%. Which is a great thing, at the cost of very little cannibalization. This was one of those nice studies where we actually got to find out later on what really happened. Because the manufacturer in this case bought scanner panel data. And in fact, they bought household panel data. And they were able to tell us not only what were the sales of Alka-Seltzer Plus, but where did that share come from. And sure enough, it showed that it validated the cross effects, the cross effects model that we built, the Mother-Logit model that we built. And it said that sure enough, the market share came disproportionately from other tablet and liquid gel products, and it only took a fair share amount from the Alka-Seltzer Plus. What I can tell you is, another year after that, the franchise regained its #1 standing in the market. It became the #1 franchise around, at least for a while.